Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to take a short break from the fairy tale game just for a little while. Um, Today, I wanted to unbox a game for you called Tsuro. This is a tile laying pathfinding game. So let's go ahead and open it up. Actually, it already is open, but the artwork on this is very unique, very Asian oriented and inspired. This is a game by Calliope Games, ages 8 and up, 15 to 20 minutes, which is absolutely correct. 2 to 8 players. I do enjoy games that can um, be played by like one person. And this is a game where you can kind of see how long you can last. But it's designed for 2 to 8 players, which is another concept I like, having multiple, like, large sums of players without losing any value to the game. It comes with this very nice looking artistic ink painting, ink drawing. Build your path through discovery and chance. Quiet your mind. Your journey begins here. And I don't know what all the Asian writing is, Chinese or Japanese or Korean or Mandarin, nor do I know what it says. These here are the rules. This is something I very much enjoy about certain games is how short the rules are, how quickly you can learn them. One thing I do not enjoy is having to read a whole book worth of rules. This here's the board, which is really just a containment board, less of a actual board, like a game board. And this here has either a long-necked rooster or a phoenix on it, which I find very beautifully drawn, painted, if you will. So there's that. Okay. And then this here is the actual board. These are the tiles that you use. So don't really need to go through every single one of them, but as you can see, every single one of them is different. I think there's 2 of them, or a couple of them. I shouldn't specify 2. I think there's a couple of them that are very similar, very close to being the same thing. Let's see here. Like that one. And that one, very similar, but not the same thing. Let's see here. Yeah, so I think pretty much every single one of them is different. And then these here are your markers for where you're going to, like who you are. I can't tell you all the colors. I can tell you white, black, and gray, yellow, bluish, reddish, greenish, and maybe a brown somewhere in there. Maybe brown. But I can't tell you exactly what colors they are, and I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong on half of them. Sorry, I just saw how dark that looks. But there's those. And these are, they're not stone, they're plastic injection molded. But as you can see, there's a little dragon on there. So you play as a dragon. Your tile is placed on the board. And wherever you start at, you fly to the end of that path. And then when another tile is laid in front of your path, then you have to fly to the end of that path. And so on. The person who lasts the longest wins. If you collide with someone else, you lose. If you... Yeah, I'm missing a tile. Oh, there it is. If you collide with someone else, you lose. If you fall off the board, you lose. And if by some miracle of a chance you end up on an infinite loop, which I don't actually think is possible in this game, but if you do end up on an infinite loop, then you lose. The tile I thought I was missing was this one here. It goes to the last person who's supposed to draw, and the first person out, the last person gets to draw one of their tiles. Or specifically, they get first draw. So let's go ahead and set that aside. And that is Tsuro, ladies and gentlemen. But you are probably not here just for one game, because you noticed the title. I'm sure you noticed the title. Today is not about just one game. Today is about Tsuro and Tsuro of the Seas. So this is a game very, very similar to it. It is not an expansion. It is 100% standalone. It just happens to have the same name because of the concept. This time, instead of being dragons... Oh, that's cool. So this is from Calliope Games, 20 to 40 minutes. Ages 8 and up. 2 to 8 players still. Tsuro of the Seas versus Tsuro. Right there. Sorry for that glitching sound that probably just happened. But anyway, this right here is pretty attractive here. This dragon that comes in on the side here. And its tail is right there. And then it's the same thing on the other two sides. So let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open. I've had this game for actually quite a while. But I knew one day I was going to do a video on it eventually. And because it took enough bartering just to convince my mother and grandmother to play this game, I knew that they'd never go for this game. So now we can go ahead and open it up. And here's another ink drawing on that wax bamboo probably type paper. It looks like it's probably got tree lines in it. See those lines? Tsuro the Seas. Sail the seas and let all the world know that he is their master, their emperor, and their god. These are the rules again. And again, very slim. So not too heavy of a read. You can take this out of the box and play it within minutes of reading the rules, not having to read a whole book. These are more rules, but they are in other languages. So that is kind of cool. I do kind of appreciate that and respect that. Okay, so this here is the board. And this time it has a dragon on it with many tails. Here you'll notice down the side there are some blue numbers, and at the top there are some yellow numbers. The only reason I know that is because I've seen this game played on Geek and Sundry's tabletop with Will Wheaton. A lot of commotion going on outside, guys. I hope you can't hear all that. You will use these numbers when placing dragons. Your markers, which we will get to in just a minute, are boats. Don't ask me what colors, but if I had to guess, I'd say that they were all the same colors as the other one. Reddish, greenish, grayish, black, white, reddish, and a tan instead of a brown, maybe? I don't know. I really don't. This is maybe the story. Oh, okay. So this is about Calliope. Other games that they have, roll for it. Got 'em. Double Dominoes. Tsuro, the original. Tsuro, Veterans of the Sea. Looks like an expansion pack for this game. UGH. So, very beautifully, very beautifully and well done advertisement, but that it's just an advertisement. These are the dice. Ooh, let's see if you can see that. See the black right there? That's an imperfection in the die where plastics didn't mix correctly when they were injection molded. But this is something I really like, is those imperfections, because then you don't just have a set of whatever, green and blue or whatever they are, dice. You have a set of imperfect green and blue dice. Huh. Those are in the same spot, but that 5 is correct. That's okay. That's kind of cool, though, that the 2 black imperfections on the one side are in the same spot. But those are some nice dice, and one thing I always look for is to make sure that the 6 is opposite of the 1, the 5 opposite of the 2, and the 4 of the 3. It tells you that they're correct legal dice. These here are the tiles right here, and these here are dragons. Well, these are dragons. Feels like they're kind of stuck together. Those don't. But let's go ahead and pull the dragons out and take a look at those. I mean, shoot, I might as well go ahead and open them up. That's what we're doing here today. So, there are this many dragons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 dragons. There are 2 of each number, it looks like. 3, 4, 5. 6 is used for something else, if I'm not mistaken, so that's why there's no 6. I could be wrong. 6 dragons could be in here somewhere. This here's like a snake-looking dragon. This is a fire-breathing Chinese-looking dragon, but it actually has wings. This is a wingless, limbless dragon. That's an octopus-looking dragon. I wouldn't call it an octopus-looking dragon. 3, 5. It's got 5 limbs, 5 tails, whatever you want to call it. And, ooh, that is very pretty. That is, it kind of looks like a luck dragon. Okay, so there's those. And then these are the tiles for the actual gameplay. Just like the original. In fact, I've seen that tile. I showed you guys that tile. Just like the original game, you put your boat. Let's pretend this is a boat for just a minute here. You put your boat on the board, and then you play a tile, and you go to the end of the path on that tile. When another tile is played in front of you, whether by you or by an opponent, then you have to fly to the end of that path, and so on. So, these are the tiles. Let me see the back of this. Blue and white. Okay, so those are all white looking. Whites. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any more dragons. But, and you guys saw me open this one. It looks like the game comes with its own Ziploc bag of to keep your boats in. And for injection molding, that's some pretty attractive little detail there. See, for those of you that may not know, injection molding, basically it comes down to nearly a needle point or a little bit bigger, and it shoots hot plastic into the mold. And the mold is made up of 2 pieces of metal that close in on each other. and then what's left is that void in the middle, the void that might make up a boat or dice or dragon stones or parts for your cars, you know, whatever. And then they heat up plastic or metal or whatever they're going to use, and they shoot it straight in there into this network of pipes. It gets shot into the mold, and when it comes out, it looks like this. But for someone to intricately shape the first mold, so that way the sails had, come on, focus. So that way the sails had detail, and the boat had detail, and down inside we've got a captain's wheel. That's not very wheel shaped, but the captain's area. Maybe a couple of people down in the front. So very very cool, very unique. Come on, focus. Well, I guess that's just not going to focus, but that's okay. There you go, right there. So anyway, thanks for stopping by today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to go check out Melissa Henderson on YouTube and see what 31 is all about. Maybe you'll find something that you can use. I can tell you this for sure. Some of these bags have been purchased to hold games or game pieces to contain them so that they don't get lost. So maybe if those of you that are watching this are interested in that, maybe you can jump over there and talk to her about them. Until next time, guys, God bless and much love.